my little wireless keyboard here has bit the dust, and so for fun I started disassembling it. Let's take a look. Sorry for the shaky cam, but we're doing everything with the phone today. First step, really, take the batteries out, right? You don't want to hurt yourself. This is not one of these don't do this moments, but be careful. Anyways, pop this off, right? Not too much, you just squeeze it, it'll pop off. The official iFixit guides tell you to use a spudger. I used a small screwdriver, right? Already had it. Then next, there's a screw in here that you have to take out. A super duper sensitive ribbon cable, right? Be careful with that. If you're doing this because you need to do some repairs, your batteries got stuck, something along those lines, be careful with this. This ribbon cable is very, very delicate. I'm assuming the 10/05/16 is year, month, date. So this was from 2010, May 16th, right? But we'll see. The only other thing that you can do without destructive work on this keyboard is basically you lift up on it a little bit, gotta clear that ribbon, and then the whole part will come out. Alright, so as we take the module out, so this is the actual brains of the keyboard. We get that out, and let's take a look. What can we see here without actually disassembling it? Hey, look! Apple. Got some part numbers. Let's see. Stuff's all covered up over here. My guess is that's the important part. That would be the Bluetooth module, if I had to guess. Antenna parts. That's your little blinky light. So when you push the power button on this, and it has power, you get a little blinky light. That looks like it's an LED, so maybe we'll harvest that because it's got black and red. Nice. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Otherwise, this is a purpose-built piece of equipment. Everybody's probably getting really sick from me trying to look through the camera and look at this part at the same time. I apologize, everybody. Yeah, so not a whole lot to this board. Button press. Let's turn this around so we can look at this the right way. What does it say? You know, they labeled everything very nicely here. There's your transmit. Oh, nice. Okay. Proceed, transmit. Wow. Pretty neat. Alright, anyways. Just thought I would share since this thing is probably just getting chucked. Just trying to see if there's anything worth saving on this. And frankly, I don't think I'm going to be making my own wireless keyboard from it. I'm not sure that I'm going to use the Bluetooth enabled adapter for it. Oh look, 2009 on the copyright on the board at least. So yeah, it's seen its fair share of abuse and children banging on it and all kinds of stuff. So when buttons stopped working, this is the kind that the whole thing is basically just hot glued together. And frankly, I wasn't going to try and get the glue apart, and I might do some destructive disassembly just for fun, but I'll leave that kind of stuff to AVE for that. So not really not my cup of tea. Anyways, thanks for watching. Okay, I lied. I'm tearing it apart. It's going in the trash anyway, so why not? So a little bit of wow, that glue is just ridiculous. All right, first level, what do we see here? A layer of, well, actually, an entire layer of glue. I'm assuming underneath that is the printed circuit board, and then a couple of layers in there for mounting points. Alright, let me see what I can do, and I'll bring you back. Alright, taking a look at this, a closer look. Does that look along that edge there, folks? see if I can get the focus. There we go. Does that look like those are spot welded in? Or are those like solder points? Any ideas? It's getting destroyed anyways, but just thought I would see what people think. Alright, in our destructive disassembly here, we can see the different layers, right? So that back part is, the upper part is really what's holding it in place. It looks like those are actually little spot welds. Underneath it looks like you can see the printed circuit board, flexible circuit board there, and then just the mounting junk for the keys that I didn't bother to take off. So let's keep at it. We'll see what happens. You ever get so mad at your keyboard that you just tore them apart? Ah. Anyways, I found that those little spots are little welds, and the backing plate on that, it actually is formed to hold the keys in place. Well, with the keys in place, it was holding the whole darn thing together too. So I had to take all the keys off. Again, we're just doing this so we can, I don't know, maybe we'll recycle the aluminum or use it for something else. But doing it because, well, it's Friday. Why not? Alright, well, now that I got this thoroughly buggered up, you can actually see the different layers. So we've got the backing. So there was the plastic ABS backing plate, right? There was this aluminum protective cover that also formed the little tabs for the keys. You've got the printed flexible circuit board, and then a rubber cover on that, which was also providing the mounting point for the little spring back mechanisms, right? So that's what goes into this thing. And yeah, every one of these little dots, those are all little spot welds. Yay! Alright, just another view of our mess so far. I was able to peel very slowly, not so gently, the backing plate off. And so we're left with the heart of the matter here, which is the printed circuit board. I'm going to take this part out. It just pops right out at this point, and flip it over, flip it around. I'm going to start examining it a little bit and looking for the failure point. Several of these keys started causing problems, and I suspect it's because there was a liquid spilled on it. I just want to take a look. Again, most of the failure point at this point would be me ham-handedly just kind of tearing stuff apart to see what's in there, since it was going to go in the recycle bin anyways. Okay, so there it is, flipped over. Bonus points to anybody identifying the screwdriver, but anyways, that's it. So we can just now take the layer. Oh really? Now it's gonna be, that'll be glued on too. Okay, great. Yay. Nothing can be simple today. How many of you guys are old enough to have used typewriters, like actually tinkered with them and stuff? I know I did, and they were simple. They're really just not that hard, right? There's a bunch of wires in here. These wires correspond to every little of one of these little pressure points, right? That's all this is. Why do we have to make it so freaking complicated? Hey, it's open, pushed, it's closed, the circuit's closed, 0, 1, right? Hey, that's the letter, I don't know, C, actually, looks like, right? So, great. Why do we have to make things so complicated? Why can't we make things so that we can repair it? Alright, I'm off my soapbox. I'm going to start examining. Alright, so acknowledging that most of the damage that was done to this was done by my own hands in disassembly, here we see our biggest issue. This trace right here. Start to see that discoloration in there. I'm guessing, I'm going to flip it over in a minute and take a look, but I'm guessing that that trace right there, if I follow it around, does not go where I thought it went. Oh, well, yeah, it's an arrow. It's the arrow keys. Okay, so I was having problems with arrow keys. And remember, we're looking at the back right now. So, if you're thinking that, hey, you're going left, those wouldn't be arrow keys. We're reversed. So yeah, the arrow keys were starting to go. They're starting to stick, all kinds of things. So I'm guessing we had some corrosion in there. Good times. All right, everybody, here's another thing to take a look at. So I'm seeing what appears to be some part numbers. Of course, they've got a protective layer on the top, so you can't read it from the top. But with any printed board, they typically put serial numbers on here and things like that. This looks to be part K5701_US 91. Right, 4H plus N0C0M.10A. Right. So I know when we were making boards, we often, or we would have that kind of stuff silk screened in the layers. So I thought I'd do some searching online, and I find nothing. So if anybody has some information on this, just drop that in the comments. Just curious. Again, this is me being, a jerk, really, and just tearing stuff apart. But thought I'd do something a little different this week. Wow, look at that. When they were doing the extrusion and everything, they even laser etched in the part numbers, batch catcher number 08. I mean, they really were tracking where this went, and that's some interesting quality control there. Cool stuff. Okay, well, there you have it. I'm going to call this a non-user serviceable part. But it was fun. So, thanks for watching. Take care.